Hello all, welcome to this session of openmentor.net. Our motto is the whole world can learn for free. In this session we are continuing HR domain. We had a previous session on HR. We talked about the designations, role, locations, departments and divisions, and the organizational hierarchy. In this session we are talking about recruitment, because the HR system needs to provide all the facilities from recruitment to training to allocation of projects and then evaluating or appraising the performance, then promotions, transfers, and when the employee exits. So from recruitment to exit, the HR system must support. The first step is recruitment. Let us take that. Before recruitment, there should be a need from every department. Usually the managers will communicate the need to the department head, and the department head may be a general manager or vice president. It may be any designation, but whoever is responsible for the department, they need to collect the need from their respective managers. Usually the need will have something called job description, also known as JD. A job description, let us take a simple job description of a software tester. Okay, the managers may say tester with 3 to 4 years experience, functional tester, the tester must know about databases, then automation is plus, then education will be BE or MCA in India, and preferred domain is insurance. They will say something like, okay, certain things are mandatory qualifications, and additional qualifications. So each manager will give their own need, and they will say, I need 4 such people, right? To start from say 1st May 2011. I need these people for 6 months in my project. This is one requirement. Like this, multiple managers may give all those things. Then department head will consolidate all requirements. Okay. Once this is done, they will send this to HR. This will go to HR. Then HR people, typically the HR managers, will consolidate all such requirements. I have given one requirement in software. Same way for banking, they may look at, we require a person with 4 years experience in banks, in handling cash, updating daily ledger. Qualification must be Bachelor of Commerce. Communication skills must be there in English as well as Hindi, right? Because banks are local to that particular geography, so they must be in a position to do conversation with people in their local language. So they may give such qualifications. The headquarters will consolidate. Once this consolidation is done, they will get clear picture of how many people they need. Before even going and then recruiting people, they will first look at pool of available people, right? HR will maintain skill set of everyone. Every employee needs to provide, I am good at this, my rating from 1 to 10 is this in this particular skill. For example, if you take a software developer, he or she must say Java my rating is 6, and MySQL my rating is 8, and .NET my rating is 2, right? HTML my rating is 9. This usually gets updated after every project or every 6 months or every 3 months based on the organization policy. So the skill set maintenance is very, very essential. This skill set will be obtained from the employee. Then the managers must also approve the skill set, right? Managers to approve skill set rating. Reason is, I may say that I am 8, but someone has to really tell whether I am 8 or not. Usually that will be given to the reporting manager at that point of time. Once you finish the project for that project manager, then at the exit of the project, again you will be assessed, your ratings will be reassessed, right? Obviously everyone needs an improvement in their skill set ratings. 2 years before, I might be 4 in MySQL, but today I may be in 8. I should be, right? I should keep on improving. So skill set maintenance is part of HR system. Once certain job descriptions and requirements are coming in, whoever is available in the employment pool, first HR will look into them. So if there are 20 testers needed and we have 30 people in pool, then we don't have to recruit. We can straight away allocate. But most importantly, the job description that the project managers or the department heads gave must match with the skill set of the people who are available. For example, I may have got 40 people in sales, but the delivery teams require 25 people in telemarketing, but these people are in field sales. The skill sets do not match. I may not immediately allocate them, right? There are other aspects. If skill sets match, straight away push. If not, either you can recruit or you can retrain your people. Again, retraining and training, that itself is a separate domain. Training, we will take it as separate thing, right? Let us not bring under HR. Training is a separate department. We will talk about that later. So once the skill sets have been assessed, then they will try to project those people from pool, right, to respective departments that need them. So you need to send these people to those departments. Hey, you asked for these kind of people, then we have X number of people like this. Even within the company, people will go and meet the heads with resume. So as part of HR system, resume bank is also part. Every employee's latest resume should be maintained in the HR system. So there should be a provision by the employee to update the resume. There should be a provision to export that resume into HTML or Word or PDF format by the HR people or the employee. So latest resume bank should be available in the HR system. So these people will go to the respective department heads, then they will meet those project managers, right? So I'm simply telling that they should go and meet. But who will set those appointments, right? John meeting the department head in Bombay. Who will manage this? HR has to coordinate. The HR has to coordinate with the latest resume for this person to talk to the other person who needs that person. This is almost like an internal interview, right? So there will be an internal interview system. I'll talk about internal interview system and external interview system a little bit later. Okay. This is one route. Departments ask for people. You have X amount of people matching the skill set. You make them to meet those department heads. Then there is an interview process going on. Interview process is pretty similar to what you have for recruitment of new people also. I will talk about that slightly later. The other hand, we do not have people in the pool. So what should I do? Only way is get from market, right? Okay, I need to get from market. Then what they do is, the HR department will do is, there are multiple ways to get people. What are the standard ways? Ads in newspapers, or search and ads in job portals, then employee referral, right? Ideally I should get the profile and resume of external people to my company. So these are all the typical techniques companies use. Or conduct a job fair, right? These are all the media through which you try to recruit people. But even before that, there is something called position creation. A position creation meaning, you might have seen in the advertisements in papers, job code. They will call it as job code, right? Some number like AE 7806, right? This may be assistant engineer, some code. There will be convention for the company to create job descriptions and job codes. The position creation is, they have to create a job code. How many positions they need? I need 200 software engineers. I need 20 salespeople, but the position code is same, right? But the number of positions is different, right? Date before they must apply, right? You freeze these things, right? You freeze these things. Then talk to some of the employment agencies or advertisement agencies, format the ad, right? Advertisement formatting itself is a big task because they will give some images, they will give some HTML content, you have to proofread. One small mistake, right? Your company's credibility at stake. So the job description must be very, very clear and simple to understand. And then place the ad. Once the ad is placed, it appears in the newspapers, or it appears in TV, or it appears in radio, it appears in magazines, job portals. Then HR will start getting resumes of new people. Again, all these resumes must be deposited, or says to be stored in the resume bank. So HR must maintain resume bank of employees and new candidates. It should be a simple mechanism, or your HR system must be available in web, candidates can directly go on and upload their resumes. That provision should be available, right? So this employee resume bank and new candidate resume bank must store the information of the people, right? Typically first name, last name, contact email, phone number, right? So that you can immediately grab them. Okay, once this is done, last date of application is done, this HR will start screening resumes, right? Out of 8,000 resumes that came for say 200 positions, they may have to screen them, reject them, because people, even though they may not qualify based on the job description, they will still apply. So you need to remove those resumes from the bank which do not comply to your needs. HR will start screening the resumes, clean and remove unwanted ones. Once this is done, after that a selection process must be defined. A selection process may have a written test, a technical interview, a personal interview, background check, and then on board, right? So selection process may be written test followed by tech interview, followed by HR round, followed by health check, followed by background check, then on board. But in certain cases it may not be just written test. They will start with tech interview, right? In some cases they may start with background check. The procedure may change, but most of the times it will not change. At junior levels there may be written test. At senior levels it will start with interview process itself. But the important thing is, once you define this process, then you need to define dates for each of these. For each of these activities, define the dates. Most importantly, communicate to candidates. The HR should send email to the candidates. Hey, we have scheduled an interview at 10 o'clock on this date. Is it possible for you to attend? Get the confirmation. Because you cannot arbitrarily schedule an interview and then ask the candidate to appear for the interview. He or she may be already working somewhere else. They will say, no, I cannot attend the interview from 9 to 5. Schedule after 6 o'clock. And don't call me by 8 o'clock in the evening. So they also have preferences. So you need to check with the times, with the candidate. Get the confirmation. This is the first step. Once this is done, get confirmation on interview or test timing from candidate. Once this is done, check for people in your company to take interview, right? You should get commitments. Okay, if a particular department asks for testers, they should provide managers and leads to take the interview. Otherwise, then who will take the interview? HR alone cannot conduct the interview. So check the availability of your internal people, leads and managers, to conduct the interview. Then send confirmation mail to both on the timing, and this must be stored in HR system. Usually they will say there will be an interview process, a screen. Project manager Ram is going to conduct an interview for James on this day at this time in this venue, or over the phone number, right? The phone number will also be given in the interview tracking sheet. That will automatically send email to the candidate as well as to this person who is going to take the interview. So this way it will be clear for both the persons that there's a commitment. So once the resumes are collected and the cleaning up happen, then interview scheduling happens. Okay. Once the interview is scheduled, then assuming that the person conducts the interview with that candidate at that point of time and the interview goes fine, then status of interview must be updated with notes, because there will be an interview tracking sheet. It will give weightages and ratings against every aspect. How is the communication? Was he good in this area? Was he good in this area? Right? What about the past experience? Whatever the person says, is it matching with the resume? There will be some X number of questions even the interviewer should answer, right? So the interviewer should provide the interview status with notes into the HR system, right? And also the recommendation. Recommendation will be, say, usually yes or no, right? Or hold. No means he is rejected. The candidate is rejected. Yes means, okay, at least it's yes means this doesn't mean that it is the candidate is selected, okay? My interview level, I am happy. Proceed to the next step, right? Hold means, okay, there are something that this guy wants to take some time, but beyond certain time, the hold will also go to no status, right? So the interviewer must update the status. Like this, every interview status by the interviewer must be updated. Occasionally, interviews may get cancelled. That also should be updated in the system. Or it may get postponed. The candidate will suddenly call and then say, hey, I don't have the time now. Sorry for that. Can you conduct the interview at 5 o'clock this evening? Or the interviewer may postpone the interview. It can happen. So the system, HR system, should allow to postpone the interview or to cancel the interview, to reschedule the interview. So, but at the end of the time and at the end of the interview, interviewer must update status. Then HR will consolidate the status of all the interviews conducted. Then they will go to the next step, right? Again, level 1 interview is over. Based on the process, schedule another interview with HR. That HR person will update the status, correct? And then once that is over, there will be a final recommendation status called selected or rejected, right? Once rejected candidates, we don't have an issue. You don't have to do anything, but communicate. HR should communicate to them politely, right? You cannot say that you are rejected, but at least you can say some polite, thanks for attending the interview. At this point of time, we are holding, right? Right? Some message. Some companies do not even do that, but it is always better to communicate to the candidate, right? Selected candidates, you communicate via email, you communicate via phone, right? This has to be done. The communication of yes, you are selected, that has to be done both by email and phone by HR department, and that should be logged in the system. Yes, I have contacted this person, I have contacted this person. And the next step is job offer, okay? Giving the job offer, okay? That we will talk in the next session. Thank you.